Cuomos! Whoa! Starring Andrew and Chris. Cool.
Yes, welcome back. Two brothers who love to tussle. One's all hands, the other's all muscle. One's chasing girls, the other's doing curls. One brother's buff and the other should be in cuffs. One's on CNN, the other should be in the state pen. Welcome to It's the Cuomos. They're like Cain and Abel, except one's a perv and the other's on cable. Tonight's episode, after his montage of kissing people got worse reviews than the video of my colonoscopy at Sundance. I didn't have any subtitles. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo remains holed up in his mansion, figuring out how to save his career. That's according to the New York Post, which is owned by our parent company, Panda Express. There's been calls on both sides of the aisle for Cuomo to resign, following the AG's report that Cuomo sexually harassed 11 women. Never mind the calls from children wondering what happened to their grandparents. Meanwhile, the New York Times reports that earlier this year, CNN execs offered Chris Cuomo a leave of absence if he wanted to advise his brother on his growing scandals. Or turn chest and tricep days into a full week. Little workout joke. Chris said no, telling the network he'd continue his show while obeying the rule that prevented him from commenting on his brother. Well, that's convenient. Chris didn't address the report after it hit on Tuesday, but his pal Don Lemon did, following this totally normal handoff.
Our hearts and our thoughts have to go out to the families of these officers who took their own lives.
I'm going to make my witness, as you say, and you know what?
Make your witness.
I love you, brother.
I love you, D. Lemon.
All right. This is Don Lemon tonight. The calls are getting louder and louder. This is what I'm talking about. Top Democrats from New York to the White House calling on Governor Andrew Cuomo to resign.
That is as awkward. That's as awkward as watching a movie with your parents and a sex scene comes on. God, I hated our home movies.
Or walking in.
Julie, I haven't talked to you about this. We don't talk a lot.
No,
actually, during the week, we need to talk much more.
Yeah, call me.
I won't.
Okay.
Do you think Andrew will step down? No. I call him Andrew, but he's the governor.
No, I do not. I do not. But I think, he is as a former narcissist, compulsive liar. I have experience on this. So as a child, maybe high school, college, a little bit of adulthood, I used to lie a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, about like minor things like, I got in a car accident when I was 16. I told my dad I got run off the road and hit a telephone pole. The real story is that I was showing off in front of my friends and I whipped into his driveway, missed it completely, and rammed into the tree in the front yard. He wanted to see the tree or the light pole, and of course I got screwed. I shoplifted a couple times. I was very young though, and I got caught. And they're like, "How did this end up in your bag?" And I'm like, "I didn't put it there. Somebody else must have." But these are the kind of compulsive lies that does not surprise me. He is a compulsive liar. So when you come forward and you say, deny, 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 like when I cheated on my boyfriend once when I was 17 years old, and he was on the phone while I was talking to the guy I was cheating on him with, and I said, "That's what you get for eavesdropping. Shame on you." So shame on you, Love Gov, because I know, I speak from experience. But unfortunately, he's gonna drag us through the mud.
He did that. I think what you're describing should be called a Cuomo, which is when they catch you in a lie, you turn it back on them and go,
always.
It's disgusting.
I'm telling you, I was a pro. Much long ago.
Much long ago. Yes. All right. Kat. If he doesn't step down, what does that do to this Me Too movement?
I think it's horrible because, look, the Me Too movement, this is a perfect example of what it was supposed to fight against. This is a guy in a powerful position abusing this power to abuse people who don't have power. And there's this investigation with 11 victims corroborated, that he did this. So if he faces no consequences, that is going to be really bad for any woman who's ever in this situation now or in the future, because if that's not enough, then what would ever be enough? Because there's some aspects of the Me Too movement. You talk about like Aziz Ansari, where it's just out of control. That stuff. This is what it was supposed to be about and should be about, and why it's important. Mm-hmm. So I certainly just get him. He's got to go. He had to go. There are 7 investigations into him at this point. Go.
Mm-hmm. Buck, how does he govern? And I'm talking about Chris Cuomo.
Chris Cuomo.
Yes.
Well, Bro Cuomo, as we call him, who's
Yes.
spending a lot of time making sure he hits the macros properly.
But how do you continue doing your job when you can't even cover the news? You can't talk about the. I mean, obviously, you can talk about the retirement homes or the nursing homes.
Oh, this guy's utterly shameless. He thinks he is the governor, meaning he always will be. There's no one else who could ever have the job. He's not going to step down. He's going to force them to try to pull him through the impeachment process, which will take at least 60, maybe 90 days, according to people in New York State politics I know. By that point, we'll be deeper into COVID. Maybe we'll all have the vaccine passports and all the rest of it. I mean, if you want a sense of the shamelessness, he had a smooch montage video as part of his defense. He's like, I kiss ladies on the face, on the head, on the foot, on the shoulder, the whole thing. And you were sitting there saying, there you go. He's just like, everybody gets a smooch. Plus, Biden sniffs ladies' heads, let's remember. So he's hoping that people won't pay much attention to the fact that he's a weirdo.
But so here's but this is why I bring up Chris Cuomo a lot, is that who comes up with montages? People in TV. The montage is born from people like us and producers who say, we need to show how stupid this person is. Let's show a montage. That had to be from his brother. His brother had to say.
His brother, who was helping him with this, by the way, as well as the Time's Up movement, which there were some of the people that were involved early on in trying to, I mean, this is part of the game, right? You have to pay these people to be your consultants because then they're the ones that were at the forefront of the weaponization of Me Too against certain people, Republicans, right? They always want to use it when they want to use it. As for the movement overall, yeah, I mean, if you pay off the right people now, you'll get the expertise of the Time's Up folks. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
there was the Time's Up crew. They were all of a sudden being consulted on whether this will help Cuomo avoid Me Too, but the Time's Up people are meant to tell us who should get in trouble for Me Too.
Yeah.
Bad.
It is bad. And also,
they all work amongst each other.
Yeah, exactly. And they work for Democrats. They don't work for Republicans.
To me, this all goes back to 1996-7 Monica Lewinsky.
Yes.
When feminist groups decided to side with Bill Clinton over Monica Lewinsky. Mm-hmm. And the Democrats have never learned their lesson, and they continue to pay the price over and over again. This is not like Andrew Cuomo was on a Zoom and accidentally, forgot the camera was on and like whatever happened. Like this is not Tubin. One of the things he did was he changed the rules so that the one gal that worked on the state troopers that he had his eye on, so that she could actually come to work for him. And then he started to harass her, and everybody around Andrew Cuomo knew it. So that Chris Cuomo doesn't have to say anything about it, it's super convenient.
Yeah, exactly. Boy, CNN's had a lot of weird issues lately.
They have no ethics to protect, so that makes it a lot easier.
Yeah. All right.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.